Yo, what's up guys, Nacho here, welcome to another video. So for this video, this is going to be part of my metagaming series. So for this one, obviously, we're gonna talk about the elephant, or I guess I should say dragon in the corner, PDK. So, let me go and show you guys a few common PDK lists. So PDK, as you may or may not know, is a deck that came into existence. The set is from Starforge Legends. It's focused on this baby, Prime Dragon Keeper. So as you can see, can't be attacked when an overflow. Whenever you play an allied Dragoncraft creature that originally costs 3 play points or less, you get to deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower and then 1 damage to the enemy leader if overflow is active for you. So there are many different flavors of PDK, as I like to say, just because there are many different ways you can play it. Like you can play it like you see here, which is more of just a facey like aggro build. You can play the Ramp Dragon build. You can play the build that counters Ramp Dragon, so on and so forth. You can play the one that has combo. You can play the one that has Jabberwock, like etc. There are a lot of different ways to play this deck. However, what we commonly see is that they still play the same sort of core cards. So they usually still play some amount of these cards. Now, with the current list, they've gone down to 0 Oracle and 2 Sybil. So effectively, they play the same 20 cards. So familiarize yourself with these cards. These are going to be cards that they should expect to see anytime you play versus Dragon. So the cards of note are obviously Dragoon Scyther. Dragoon Scyther makes it so the first 3 big things you play are probably getting killed by that card. You're gonna feel bad, but that's fine. I promise you that's fine. The PDK itself, the PDK is what's letting them like push face damage. Now, the pushing of the chip damage is very, very important. I've talked about this in the past, but the pushing of the chip damage increases your likelihood of being able to kill someone, just because the PDK by itself deals 1 damage each. The PDK by itself, no effect, deals 1 damage each and every turn. If you evolve the PDK, that's suddenly 3. Now, if you proc PDK's effect, like say 3 times in 1 turn, followed by 2 more times in 1 turn, and the PDK gets to go face and it's evolved, that's dealing 6 to 8 damage whether or not it's evolved. That's a lot of damage. That's essentially like saying that I hit you with a Forte. Now, that is very good, just because like it also buys you time, it buys you board dominance. It makes it so things like, say, playing a Forte is not nearly as scary as it was in the past, just because like if you play the Forte, that's fine because you have the board, you have the PDK. Like the Forte dies, that means that they're not killing that PDK, which means that you can just keep on with what you're doing, and eventually you'll find the Star Knight to kill them, or they'll just concede because they realize that they can't ever get back the board. So going with that in mind, the obvious question is, well, how do I beat it, Nandro? Well, there are a few different things you can do. Now, do not get me wrong. One of the misconceptions that a lot of people make is that, like, in order to truly beat something, you have to just like stomp it into the ground and you have to like force it into like a polarized matchup. No, like that doesn't matter. Like, what matters is, do you have some semblance of game burst? That, like, do you make it so it's like not like, a 10 to 90 or like a 20 to 80 or something like that against you. Like, if you can make it to say 40%, to say the 40% range, or hell, even the 50-50 range, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go, and that'll be perfectly fine. Just because when it gets closer to 50-50, or of course at 50-50, then a lot of it comes down to how well do you draw, how skillfully do you play. That'll be where having actual skill matters. The only thing that matters should matter is just how well can you tune your deck to bring you to that point. So there are a few different things that beat PDK, and I want to go ahead and talk about them here. Now, obviously, like I said, not everything is going to be like decisively beat it. Like, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to put in some effort. It's not gonna be like point and click. Okay, well, I just picked this, so I just win. It's not that simple. Like, nothing in life should ever be that simple, and this is no exception. So let's go ahead and talk about some decks. So I have a few different decks here that put in work. So the first one, right? So this one is made by was made by the North American champion of NGE, Jay-Z. As you can see, the title is Chasey Birds. If you don't know how to play it, basically you're gonna be abusing the crap out of Star Phoenix to just contest the board. You play a billion spells from this deck, so you just contest the board. You get your mana. You do the stuff you gotta do. You have a Valid Strike. So the Valid Strike is very good in my opinion, because like you can use it to kill off PDKs even if they're evolved. Like, that's insane. Now, obviously, if you kill it at the same turn, you're not gonna be able to deal with anything else that's on your board, which another misconception that a lot of people make, is that like, oh, well, these things are like on their board or whatever, like they're gonna do like so much damage or anything like that. No, they're not. Like, they're just dinky 1/2s and 1/1s. Like, that's that's like whatever. Like it's not actually that much damage. The only time that the damage ramps up is if they evolve it. Most times by that point in time that they're playing the PDK, they should be out of evolves. They should be either out of evolves or on their very last one. So it should not matter. The only times when it does matter is when they play out the Forte. But even with the Forte, you can still heal it with this deck. You can. Like, I know a lot of people, like try to pretend that oh, you just eat so much damage all at once and just that. No, you don't. Like the PDK decks, like they take a few turns to kill you. Like they need at least like 3 or 4 turns to kill you. Like, well, obviously they need 3 or 4 turns if you can remove the units on their board as they come out. I mean, obviously if you can't, then yeah, you're gonna die. But in the event that you can, only say stuff like say double Forte, or you just having like gotten like beaten down that low in the first place will get you killed. So again, with this deck, you just go ahead and like I said, like you just go ahead and like loop 1,000 Star Phoenixes from Square Enix and just like beat the crap out of them. The next one, obviously, of course, you can play PDK you can fight fire with fire and play PDK yourself, but obviously I'm trying to avoid like telling you to do that because there are options, there are things you can do. The next one is this one, Control Blood. So if you haven't already seen it, go ahead and check out my Exploring Control Blood video. Now this is the list that I've been using. It's a very good list. It got me like an 11 game win streak. I honestly wish I could have like streamed it, but yeah, it got me an 11 game win streak, and it's very good overall. Now obviously there are some changes you can make. Like, for example, if you don't want to play the Temptress because Temptress is somewhat hard to play, you can go ahead and play a second Azazel. If you don't want to play Spawn again, go ahead and put in second Azazel. Now the deck does take some practice and does take some games to play, but that's fine. Like, because again, nothing in life should come that free where you just get to win without having to actually do anything, because that's how you get a ridiculous deck. When you get ridiculous decks, we get things like PDK. Next on the list, this one. So this is another deck that I meant to talk about, but I haven't actually gone around to talking about it. This is Anti-Meta Ramp Dragon. So I call it Anti-Meta Ramp Dragon because like it literally does all the right. So to play Anti-Meta is to play things that specifically, obviously, that work to counter what's in the metagame, and this deck does it well. It tries to counter both PDK as well as Aggro Sword in the same deck. Now I know a lot of times people will tell you that that's like not possible. That's not that's like not something you can do, but you can actually do that with this deck. So let's go and break it down. So right now you're playing Unica. Now Unica is a card that a lot of people aren't playing, and to be honest, if you've watched my video on soft words versus hard words, then you should know that Unica is a card that you should be playing. Well, you should be playing where possible. Just because it's a 2-mana 2/2, which if you play it on 2 and you went first versus Sword, you probably win that game, because if they don't have a buff, they're probably just going to instant concede if you have any points of early interaction aside from that. You have the Star Phoenix. Again, Star Phoenix, it's better than Scyther here because you get the rush. You get the rush and you can have multiple Star Phoenixes. This kind of shores up one of the issues that Ramp Dragon has, in which like sometimes where you have spells but you don't have creatures. And again, like it just helps you aggressively contest the board, and that's where you want to be at. As Goblin Mount Demon, if you slam down a Goblin Mount Demon versus Sword, and the Goblin Mount Demon is at near full health, because again they play a lot of shitty units, and if the Goblin Mount Demon is at near full health, that Sword player is going to concede, because that Goblin Mount Demon is going to go like 1 for 6 or like 1 for 4 and just like nuke their board. It basically forces them to not only give you an evolve, but to give you 5 creatures. Like, that's so many creatures, and obviously once that happens, they can't ever come back in the game, and so they just lose. 3 Avowed Strike, again, as I said with the Jay-Z list, Avowed Strike is very, very good. If you get the enhanced effect, you're going to kill a Star Phoenix, provided you have like 4 creatures in your, provided you draw into 4 Dragoncraft cards, you're going to kill Star Phoenix. Even if the Star Phoenix is at full HP and fully evolved. If it's not evolved, you only need 3 cards. And drawing 3 Dragon cards is very, very easy to do, because again, as you can see here, you're playing quite a few of them. You still have the Breathless Salamander, which is also, that's always very, very good. And on top of that, you have Odin. So one of the issues that I know a lot of people like run into is that for PDK also plays Scythers, and in some cases also plays Bahamut. Well, in the games where they're playing Bahamuts or whatever, you have just as many ways to kill their Bahamuts as they have to kill yours. In fact, you actually have more because you're playing Zeus. So if you need to, you can always go ahead and sacrifice your Zeus into it instead of playing out the Bahamut, which is obviously, a little bit better, just because it invites them to play a lot of cards. They play a lot of cards, you just kind of mop it up with the Bahamut, bam, you're good to go. Like you're probably winning that game. Now, again, as I said before, with a lot of these decks are like control oriented, because like for me personally, I prefer playing control decks. Now, obviously, if you want to play some aggro decks, I can go ahead and I can probably find you some aggro decks to go ahead and play that do very, very well. There's, of course, Tried and True Aggro Sword if you want to play that. Like, this is a pretty standard list. I believe this is like the first list I made to Grandmasters, so it's still very, very good. Like, you just have the Ephemera, and all you need to do, and all you need to know how to do is just, know how to mulligan correctly, know how to play out your early game cards, and just, know how to think in critical situations. Like, say, for example, if your opponent plays a ward, to maximize how best it is they can get enough damage through, while also keeping a relatively stable and wide board. There's also this list. This is what my boy Sisney used to get to Grandmaster. Like, as you can see, it's pretty stable. Or sorry, it's pretty standard. The only change is that he has 3 demonic strikes. You can go ahead and cut the number of demonic strikes down to 2 if you want. But they're still very, very good. Just because if you can make it to late game, you can go ahead and pick it up off of Oz. You can go and just drop a whole bunch of burn spells, drop it on your opponent's face, drop it like it's hot, and bam. Like, they're probably gonna die. It also works versus a sword, because again, versus sword, all you need to do is just play the tempo game. If you've seen the video that I uploaded earlier, then you should know that there's no playing for value versus sword. You must play for tempo if you don't want to die. There's also this one. This is a pretty semi-standard Saha ramp list from our boy Goomba. Now, obviously, you don't have to play the Polywars if you don't want to. You can play something else in their place. Now, I believe you put Polywar in just because it's good versus Haven, it's good versus Snapshadow, which at the time for him, which I believe was like a week ago, Snapshadow was still kind of played a little bit, just people are still in that testing phase. But now that's more solidified, and now that you know pretty much what you're going to see, you can go ahead and cut the number down to 1 if you want, or hell, you can even cut it down to 0 and just play like two more, let's say like late game bombs, and that'll be fine. There's this is my neutral Haven. Again, as you can see here, it shares a trend with the Ram Dragon deck I just showed you from a second ago. It plays almost the exact same way. Versus say sword, all you gotta do is just, you play for tempo. You want to go ahead and try to mulligan. You want to go ahead and try to mulligan for the Grimnir when possible. You play out the Grimnir. You go ahead and you play out the Grimnir. You play out the Hectors. You go ahead and just you try to like abuse the fact that they have a lot of like very, very strong evolve effects. If you evolve a Faria, if you evolve a Lyrial, if you evolve a Hector, you're gonna be in a great spot to win. Especially with the Hector, you can get up to 4 Hectors from like turn 5 to turn 6. Well, sorry, from turn 5 to turn 8. By just repeatedly going Hector. When the Hector dies, you play Illusionist, get the Hector back, have the Hector trade into a unit, go ahead and use the evolve on the Illusionist, and that'll be very, very nice. Just because like he doesn't get banished until the start of your turn, so that means that versus sword, that'll be very, very nice. Versus PDK, you're gonna be playing for tempo, but this time you're gonna be aiming the majority of your burn effects to face, and you're just gonna body your opponent, because you have a lot of incidental damage in this deck. You have the Saha for Zeus, that's potentially 15 damage, 20 if you can actually play the Zeus, provided you have all 3 Sahas, you use it on the Zeus. You have 9 damage from Hector's. So currently right now we're at 24. You have potentially 3 damage from say Faria if all 3 Farias get to evolve. But assuming that they don't, because assuming that you only get like 2 Evos, assuming that you run first, that's still 8 damage. So we're currently at what now? We're currently at 32, I believe. You also have potentially 5 more damage from the Illusionist if the Illusionist can pick up a Zeus, and then lastly 4 more damage from the Lucifer if you can get the Lucifer to evolve. So again, you have a lot of damage here, and for the most part, because you have so much damage, a lot of times because people haven't really seen this particular Saha deck, they're usually not expecting it, unless of course they've like played it, or unless of course they have like extensive like game knowledge. But most times they don't. Like the average ladder player plays around nothing. So a lot of times you're just gonna get free wins just because you get to bop your opponent with burn damage, and you get to make pretty sticky aggressive boards. Oh, also fun fact: Felice can nuke a PDK, which is cool. And then of course there's Atomy Tyrant. Now, Atomy Tyrant is very good, provided that you actually know how to play it. If you can resolve an Atomy early, like say as early as say turn 2 or turn 3, you're probably going to win because your opponent can't actually evolve Scythers into it. So if you're going second, you can go ahead and clear out the Scyther if they play it, if they try to like tempo it out. And of course, if you're going first, then yes, you actually will have to like deal with the Scyther. But I think that's fine, because if you find a staircase, which you're playing 3 of, there's a very strong chance they just like do it all over again the turn after. There's also Nep. Now this is the Nep list this is the Nep list I was using last. I haven't actually made the swap. Sorry, I haven't actually made the swap yet, but you definitely take out 1 Mystic Extinction as well as 1 Twilight Queen, and in their place you go ahead and you just play, and you play two Tests of Strength. You play the Test of Strength. You go ahead and if you're playing up Bone Chimeras or something like that, you have a very sticky wall of wards, so to speak. And then if you can get out the Nep, which brings up the Mord, you're gonna be in a very great spot. Now, obviously, with that having been said, it's still kind of shaky, just because like if you want to play it out, if you want to have the Test of Strength and the Mord up in the same turn, you have to hold the Test of Strength until 9, which you could possibly die before then, or you have to take reduced odds in order for the chance that you might not actually pull out your Mord, which will suck if you don't actually get it. Additionally, there's another way of playing it, in which you can play out the Test of Strength on 5, then play out a Wall of Wards on 6, then play the Nep on 8, get your heal, then go ahead and play Death's Breath on 9, and that'll give you a lot of wards to go ahead and try to survive. But yeah, like, so now I've listed like several different lists for you guys to use. I believe I have gameplay videos up for most of them already. If there's not one that I don't have up and you want to see it, go ahead and like let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.